What is up guys, my name is Pocketcraft and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing what I think are the top 10 most rare Pokemon in Cobblemon and how you can find and catch each of them. Now this is my opinion based upon looking on the data, but if you have a different opinion, feel free to comment down below and make sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'm saving the best for last and you definitely don't want to miss out on those. Now there are a couple of important caveats I want to share at the beginning. I won't be including final stage evolutions in the list unless they have a really difficult evolution method. For example, obviously finding a Torterra in the wild is incredibly rare, but finding a Turtwig is not nearly as difficult. And so you can just find a Turtwig and evolve it into Torterra. My focus here is what are the most difficult Pokemon to obtain. And to start our list off, the 10th rarest Pokemon is Dratini. All of the pseudo-legendaries are difficult to catch, but Dratini is particularly difficult because it has to spawn beneath Y level 32, and a lot of times it's near water, so usually it spawns underwater. And while Dratini is really rare, I do actually have a trick for catching it more easily. If you're in a cave, you can often find caves with pools like this, and if you do that, then you'll see, as we check spawns here with the rare spawn, that Dratini is a rare spawn here, and there's only 3 Pokemon that can spawn in the rare bucket, which means there's actually a pretty good chance of Dratini spawning. Now, if you don't have a nice pool like this, sometimes if you create enough water at the bottom of a cave like this, and check spawns again in the rare spawn, there'll still be a chance for Dratini to spawn. It can be a little bit fickle though, so I'd recommend using the Pokenav mod so you can make sure that Dratini can actually spawn here. Now coming in at number 9, we have Porygon. Porygon is a really interesting Pokemon in Cobblemon because it can only spawn near PCs. On the bright side, that means like Dratini, there is actually a little bit of a trick we can do to make it spawn more easily, which won't be true for some of our later Pokemon. So there is a solution to make Porygon less rare, but it is a somewhat expensive solution. If you craft a bunch of PCs and then just place them all one chunk apart, you will drastically increase your chances of spawning in Porygon. And now I'm just showing here, hypothetically, I haven't actually checked the chunks, but even if you just do this, if you place a bunch of PCs nearby each other, then Porygon will have a much higher chance of spawning and eventually one should spawn in. As a side note, if you find this video interesting or helpful at all, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're really pushing to 20k subscribers and we'd love to have you as part of the team. Also, I should mention that I'm not including shiny Pokemon in this list because really it's just going to be any of these individual Pokemon. Shiny would be even more rare. Coming in at number 8, we have any of the individual Magikarp Jump or Gyarados Jump forms. These are new in Cobblemon 1.6. You don't need any extra mods to catch them. You just need to make sure in your resource packs that you have the Gyarados Jump pattern enabled. And again, this comes with vanilla Cobblemon. You don't need to download any extra mods, which is important because this video is only about the rarest Pokemon in vanilla Cobblemon. If you add in any of the legendary Pokemon mods, there'll be some that are more rare. Now, there are tons of these forms and each one is pretty rare, but there are ways to get each of them a little bit more easily. There are a ton of these, so I'm not going to go over all of them specifically, but if you go on the Cobblemon wiki to unique Pokemon forms, you'll see the different forms here, and you'll see that, for example, Calico, you have a 3 times chance if you're fishing in Floral Mountain or freshwater biomes, and a 5 times chance in timber biomes. And you can go through with all of these to see the different chances, and then what kind of Gyarados they would evolve into to see which one you're looking for. So I would pick whichever one you think looks coolest and go to the biome that has a 5 times chance of obtaining it. Next up, we have heart-shaped Wooper, which is a Wooper that has a little heart here under its face rather than a dot. This is one of my favorite rare Cobblemon forms. It's adorable and just a tiny bit different, but definitely something that you want to hunt. Now this Pokemon is rare because you can only get it by fishing, and only if you're fishing with a Love Ball fishing rod. If you use any other kind of fishing rod, this will not work. So you need a Love Ball fishing rod, and then you're just going to have to sit here and fish for a while, and hopefully you'll get lucky and find one, which we did not right there. Now coming in at number 6 are any of the individual fossil Pokemon in Cobblemon. Now there are a couple ways that you can catch fossil Pokemon in Cobblemon. You can find them from the specific fossil structures, which makes any individual one fairly rare. Or my preferred method is to go to lush cave biomes, and in a lush cave biome, every fossil Pokemon is an ultra rare spawn. Now this makes them incredibly rare because in lush cave biomes, there are already a couple other ultra rare spawns, which means that the chance of any ultra rare Pokemon being spawned is much smaller, especially with the number of fossil Pokemon that exist. So if you're hunting a specific one like Tyrunt, Bastiodon, Tortuga, Aerodactyl, it's going to be pretty rare. A lot more rare than just hunting a fossil Pokemon in general. So my best recommendation would be to go to Lush Cave Biome, build a base, hang out there for a while, do some mining, and hopefully you can find one. Or if you want to be really adventurous, you can go around and hunt for specific fossil structures. But I think that going to a Lush Cave Biome is probably more efficient. Now coming in at number 5, we have the Mooshtanks. These Pokemon are incredibly common in their biome, but they're extremely rare because they only spawn in mushroom field biomes, which is the rarest biome in Minecraft. I actually have never come across one in Vanilla Cobblemon, and I obviously play a fair amount with the YouTube channel. If you're really set on having one of these, you could start a new world and use a seed that has a mushroom field biome at the beginning, or you could use something like Chunk Base to try and figure out where a mushroom field biome is. They're just going to take some hunting around, but once you find a mushroom field biome, they'll be pretty easy to come across. But you definitely want these guys on your team because if you right click them with a bowl, you can get free stew and have unlimited food. Now coming in at number 4, we have Gholdengho. Gholdengho is a super cool Pokemon, but it is so annoying to obtain. Now finding a Gimmighoul is actually not that hard. There's Gimmighoul towers all over Cobblemon. However, to evolve one, as most of you probably know, you need to fill up your coin stash to 999. Finding that many relic coins is exhausting. You have to be hunting these Gimmighoul towers like crazy, and so it just takes a super long time and a lot of adventuring around the world, which makes evolving Gimmighoul into Gholdengho very difficult, making Gholdengho one of the most rare Pokemon in Cobblemon. Coming up next is Dino. I think Dino is definitely the hardest pseudo-legendary to obtain in Cobblemon. It spawns the most commonly in deep, dark biomes. And this is what makes it so difficult in normal survival. If you're playing without mobs enabled, it's not as hard, but in normal survival, the deep dark is an incredibly dangerous biome, and you're gonna have to stick around there for a long time if you want a Dino to spawn. At the end of the day, if you want Dino, you gotta do it. And my best recommendation is just to build a house there or some sort of structure to keep you safe, and then just look at your mini map from your hiding place until one spawns, but it's probably gonna take a while. Let me know in the comment section if anyone has caught a Dino and how long it took them, because this is one I haven't actually hunted yet, but I know is very difficult to get. Next up is a really fun and kind of random unique Pokemon form that Cobblemon added, and that is the Nero Whishcash. Now this is just a larger than normal Whishcash. It's got this W on the head and it looks super chunky. Definitely kind of a fun and derpy one to have, especially if you have an aquarium. But the reason it's so difficult is it can only be obtained by fishing, and fishing with a Master Ball Pokérod. Now you can only craft a Master Ball Pokérod with a Master Ball, which means that you have to not only go and obtain a Master Ball, which is the rarest item in the game. It is incredibly expensive to craft, and then you have to use that Master Ball not to catch a Pokemon, but to make this Pokérod. So you have to be pretty Minecraft wealthy to have one, and definitely have some time on your hands to do it. And then even once you have the rod, it's not a guarantee that you're going to fish up Nero Whishcash right off the bat. He's still a rare Pokemon, and so you'll still have to be fishing for quite a while, but hopefully after time, you'll get lucky and find one soon enough. And now finally, the rarest Pokemon in all of Vanilla Cobblemon, in my opinion, is, drumroll please, Netherite Gholdengho. Now, I know we already did normal Gholdengho, but Cobblemon has added a special Netherite Gholdengho that can only be obtained by feeding Gimmighoul Netherite scrap as well as relic coins. So you still need to give it the 999 relic coins, which is already a pain. But then if you want fully Netherite Gholdengho, I believe you have to give it 256 Netherite scraps in order to fully fill up its scrap stash. Now, if you've played much Minecraft, you know that getting any Netherite is already a bit of a hassle, but getting 256 scraps takes forever. Not to mention the 999 relic coins. So this is definitely the rarest Pokemon in Cobblemon, and if you have this on your server, it is a huge flex. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, check out this video right here where I show you the top 100 tips and tricks for Cobblemon.